Sisters and brothers, IAM siblings, our union has decided to confront one of the most critical issues of our time, climate change. The climate crisis isn't just a global challenge, it is a worker issue. As temperatures rise and extreme weather events become more frequent, our members face the impact directly on the job site and in their communities. Today, I want to introduce you to two people who will discuss a report we did in partnership with Cornell University. This is a comprehensive report. This comprehensive report was born out of a collective spirit to lead and fight against climate change while safeguarding and advancing our union. I want to thank everyone who helped make this report possible, including the dozens of IAM leaders and members who participated in the first-hand interviews. This report is truly a testament to the power of the member's voice, and when speaking out on issues, John Harity, as a dedicated member, ensured that the IAM was at the forefront with climate resolutions passed in 2016 and 2022 at the 39th and 40th IAM Grand Lodge Conventions. This report indicates that each of us plays a critical role in making our industries more sustainable, creating high-quality union jobs, and preparing our members for the future. I now want to welcome Zach Cunningham, a training and education associate from Cornell University's Climate Jobs Institute, and John Harity, retired Connecticut State Council president, to the stage. Please give them a warm IAM welcome. Zach, thank you very much.
Here we are.
All right. Hello, everyone. How we doing? Good.
Hey.
So I have the task of following the Reverend Doctor with a slideshow about climate change, so God help me, but I'm going to do my best. As President Bryant said, my name is Zach Cunningham. I am with the Climate Jobs Institute at Cornell University's School of Industrial and Labor Relations, and I'll tell you a bit more about who we are in just a moment. But first, I just want to make sure to thank President Bryant and the IAM Executive Council for, one, supporting this really crucial work around climate change, and also for inviting me to speak today. I know climate's not an easy topic for a lot of folks to take on, but our team at CJI has really been inspired by your union's vision, by your determination to set a proactive climate agenda that builds the union and makes sure that no members are left behind. As I said, just a few words about the Climate Jobs Institute. Our mission is to guide New York's and the nation's transition to a strong, equitable, and resilient clean energy economy by tackling the climate crisis, creating high-quality union jobs, confronting race and gender inequality, and building a diverse, equitable, and unionized clean energy workforce. To do this, we partner with an organization known as the Climate Jobs National Resource Center to help establish union-led coalitions at the state level across the country in the fight for climate actions and good jobs that center the needs of working people. We currently have active coalitions in 9 states with other states where we do work, and shout out, anyone here from Pennsylvania? Shout out to the Keystone State, who just last week launched a new coalition called Union Energy to help build the work that we do. So IAM leaders have been critical to this work. Just to name a few, John Holden from District 751 is a central leader in the Climate Jobs Washington Coalition. And the man to my left, John Harity, has been a leader in this space in Connecticut for decades with the Roundtable on Climate and Jobs. Yeah. So over the past few months, our team at the Climate Jobs Institute has worked with a group of folks from the IAM on a different type of project than what we normally do. And just to reiterate, in both 2016 and 2022, this delegate body passed resolutions calling for strong climate action within the IAM. And I just pulled on the screen a few quotes from those resolutions. The last one really emphasizes an important point, which is that IAM members are particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, and the industries that you all work in are likely to see disruptions from both government and corporate actions that prioritize sustainability. So at the outset of this project, we asked ourselves a few key questions. How is climate change already affecting your members on the job and working people more generally? What changes are coming to the communities where your members live and the industries where they work? And what actions can the IAM take to advance a bold climate jobs agenda that protects current members, honors the legacy of North American manufacturing, and builds the union for future generations? So after extensive research and interviews with about 24 IAM leaders and members, CJI is proud to publish a joint report with the IAM today titled Reclaiming the Future, a Climate Jobs Agenda for the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. And I have to note that title, Reclaiming the Future, we stole that from one of your great union leaders, William Winpesinger, who wrote a book by that same title a couple decades ago. Yes?
Yeah.
So in writing this report, we came away with a few key conclusions that I want to mention. Because of your members' skills, expertise, and positions within key industries, because of the training infrastructure and organizing capacity that you all have, because of your commitment to job security and health and safety on the job, the IAM is uniquely positioned to lead on climate change and to help shape the clean energy economy of the future built on high-road union jobs. Another key conclusion is that by leading on this issue, IAM has an opportunity to grow the union and secure a more secure future for members in generations to come. Younger people are especially concerned about climate change as an issue, so by taking the lead on this, it provides an organizing opportunity for new generations of workers. And also by centering your members' skills and expertise, the IAM, along with the labor movement more broadly, can help make sure that a clean energy transition happens on your terms, on labor's terms, not just on the terms of corporations who care mostly about the bottom line. But that's not going to happen without a lot of organizing. So this report and an accompanying website that we also helped put together is not simply an academic exercise, right? This isn't professors putting out a white paper. This is really meant to set a vision for what a worker-centered climate action could look like. And it's meant to aid the IAM's organizing and advocacy efforts on the ground. Ultimately, we know that you all will be the ones shaping this clean energy future. And for just the next few minutes before I turn it over to John, I want to walk through what we found during our research and some of the recommended steps that you all can take to prioritize building a union-led, climate-safe economy. And I should note you can access our full report, I believe, on your convention app. So Jonathan, don't be mad at me if I jump the gun on that one. So first, we found that climate change is already having a major impact on IAM members. Extreme weather is damaging critical infrastructure and disrupting operations around the country. And just to name one example, weather-related flight delays are making members' jobs more stressful and more dangerous in the air transport sector. Other climate impacts, like rising sea levels, threaten communities and industries in coastal areas, with iconic IAM workplaces like the Bath Iron Works in Maine at risk of being inundated by flooding. IAM members' health is also at risk. Heat stress and other issues are hitting outdoor workers hard, but it's also hitting workers in non-temperature controlled or not so well temperature controlled facilities like a lot of manufacturing plants. And in healthcare, which is a major area of organizing and growth for the IAM, staff shortages and increased demand for services are making an already difficult job that much tougher. We also talked with leaders about the negative effects and future opportunities for membership growth from both climate change and climate action. So core IAM industries will be facing major changes. We know this. Sustainable aviation fuels, electric vehicles, and other low-carbon technologies in transportation are going to change how workers do their jobs. These changes will require an increased focus on how to train IAM members and give them new skills, how to make sure employers do right by their members, and to make sure that we have industries that sustain families and communities over the long term. And finally, we know that certain communities are disproportionately harmed by the effects of climate change. How can IAM prioritize women, communities of color, and other underserved populations in their organizing? And how can that open up new avenues for membership growth in the long run? So with these questions in mind, CJI and the IAM established a vision for what a robust, member-led climate jobs agenda could look like. That agenda has 4 pillars that you see on the screen. One is growing IAM membership in clean energy industries. 2, using policy and organizing to ensure that climate jobs are high-quality union careers. 3, building a climate-resilient IAM, and basically what this means is that we need to make sure that IAM is building the training and support infrastructure to support members in climate emergencies, but also to make sure that they're maximizing opportunities for new work. And 4th, strengthening the IAM at the bargaining table and on the shop floor, which is where your power ultimately lies. Our full report details several specific steps here, but I'm just going to walk through a couple quick examples. So for that first pillar, with the right approach, the IAM can become one of the leading unions representing members in climate and clean energy work. In recent years, both the US and Canada have made enormous investments in low carbon and clean energy technologies. But in order to maximize job quality and growth potential, manufacturing unions like the IAM can take the lead on organizing the supply chain. So whether it's sustainable aviation fuel, offshore wind turbines, clean vehicles and component parts, high-speed trains, low-carbon heating and cooling system, the IAM can use policy and organizing to make those jobs good jobs. And as the IAM builds new industries like high-speed rail, which I saw that there was a resolution passed just this morning on this very issue, you all are going to be the ones that maintain the laser focus on safe, healthy workplaces. And that means continuing the fight against things like precision scheduled railroading and other staffing issues that really undermine working conditions. Now, our second pillar is ensuring that climate jobs are high-quality union careers. High-quality job creation won't come without an aggressive organizing plan. But with the right policies at every level of government, the IAM can curtail low-road employer tactics and remove some of the barriers to union organizing that currently exist. These efforts can be even stronger when IAM partners with communities to push an ambitious agenda together. So this means things like project labor agreements, labor peace agreements, domestic content requirements, but also large-scale labor law reform, like the PRO Act, is important to make it easier to organize not just in clean energy, but across the economy. And one final thing I'll give a plug to that is in the report is specific legislation for key industries, like the Tim Hart Wildland Firefighter Classification and Pay Parity Act, which is a mouthful, but that would give climate heroes like our forest wildland firefighters that IAM represents the pay that they deserve for doing this critical work on the front lines of climate change. Thanks. Our third pillar is building a climate-resilient IAM. Essentially, this is building the union that can face climate change head-on and maximize new growth opportunities. Policy interventions are important, like implementing OSHA's heat standard rule to protect workers against extreme heat, but also there are steps that you all can take with your own resources on this front. One example would be Washington's Machinist Institute, where the IAM is leading in terms of providing training, apprenticeship opportunities, and upskilling opportunities to both current and future members interested in careers in manufacturing. And our final pillar is strengthening the IAM at the bargaining table and on the shop floor. Ultimately, like I said, this is where your power lies. IAM members and leaders can make climate demands at the bargaining table, like protection against extreme heat or forming joint labor management committees to help with decarbonization plans. IAM members can also explore forming climate committees at different levels of the union to discuss and coordinate action. And IAM leaders can target key industries like healthcare to run campaigns that improve working conditions and build healthier workplaces. So to wrap up, I'd just like to thank the IAM's leadership again. Our team at CJI is really proud to have partnered with you all to outline these recommendations. And ultimately, we know the power is in your hands as leaders and members of this union. You know your industries and working conditions. You know how climate change is affecting your members, and you know what changes need to happen at your workplaces across the country. So we look forward to seeing you shape a robust, equitable, and unionized clean energy future. Thank you.
Should I just go ahead now?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Hey. Hey, happy Labor Day, everybody. You know, you're a good-looking group from up here. So, my name is John Harity, and I'm a proud member of Local 1746 in East Hartford, Connecticut. Are you here? Yes. All right. And I want to, first of all, thank International President Brian Bryant for giving me an opportunity to speak to you all today. Let me just say, I've been a member of the Machinists for 44 years, and I've worked with many distinguished and worthy international presidents. But Brian Bryant is a turning point in our union, a brother who will bring us squarely into the 21st century with energy, new ideas, and the willingness to fight when needed. Brian Bryant, we stand with you. Except, Brian, I don't actually stand with you, but I'll sit with you. Sisters and brothers, I'm going to tell you my story. It's a story about climate change and also union democracy. Back in 2012, I did a lot of studying and read a whole lot, and this is what I learned. Climate change is the most crucial issue facing all of us for the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. And I'm not kidding about that, as Joe Biden might say. The labor movement, though, in 2012 didn't seem to realize that. That had to change. I'm old enough to remember when the AFL-CIO was considered a conservative, stodgy organization at the back of the pack on social issues. I didn't want the labor movement, and especially our union, to drag behind on such an important issue as this. That's one of the reasons why in 2012, a small group of us in Connecticut began the Connecticut Roundtable on Climate and Jobs. It's a coalition of labor, environmental, religious, and social justice groups united by the fight for climate safety through eliminating carbon emissions. And I would tell you that after 12 years, the Roundtable is now the go-to climate change organization in Connecticut. It would be nice if we could just all continue doing what we're doing. Driving pickups that get 12 miles to the gallon, turning up the oil furnace when it's cold, the power company burning up as much gas, oil, coal, natural gas, or whatever they want, however much they damn well please. But those days are gone. Here's the thing. Climate change is global warming. The more carbon is released into the atmosphere, the hotter the Earth is getting. The only choice we have with climate change is this. Either stop emitting carbon into the atmosphere and adapt to the worsening conditions that are already being created because of the carbon that's there, and that will continue to get worse for some time, or do nothing and suffer even more severe weather crises and searing heat and just die. And I don't mean just me and you, I mean like everybody, billions and billions of people. And I'll tell you what, drill baby drill may sound cool, but it means death to the planet. Doing nothing or pretending that climate change is not real is just not an option. I wish it were, but it's not. It was not an option for the labor movement or our great union either, which is why I submitted a resolution at the 2016 IAM convention. The resolution said the IAM recognized the unparalleled danger to working families represented by climate change, and that it would be a priority issue for the IAM from that point forward. There was just one problem with my plan, that the Executive Council was opposed to the resolution, and so was the Resolution Committee, mainly out of fear that our membership involved in the fossil fuel industries would feel abandoned. which is understandable. But long story short, the resolution came up for a vote at the convention with a recommendation to reject. One person spoke in favor of it, me. It went to a standing vote of the convention, and the resolution was passed. And that is union democracy in action. And I'm proud to be a member of the IAM. Meanwhile, what was happening out in the country, out where we all live, on the West Coast, raging forest fires and suffocating smoke all the way up through Canada. In the Midwest, winter storms way beyond the norm in severity and frequency. The Southwest, record temperatures, 100, 105, 110, and more. The Southeast, flash floods, roads and bridges wiped out, trees coming down and homes damaged by super soaking rains. And in the Northeast, some of everything. Oppressive heat, punishing rains, but no snow in New England. That, sisters and brothers, is advancing climate change. It's happening now. It's happening to you and me now. So our first resolution was not adequate for moving our union forward. In 2022, I submitted another resolution, a new resolution. The intent of it was to do an inventory of all IAM jobs and figure out in broad terms how vulnerable our jobs and our union are and what we need to do to keep people working. That resolution passed unanimously. Again, based on the initiative of one member, but with the support of leadership and the assembled delegates through a vote. Again, that's union democracy in action. Now with the study done with the excellent work of Cornell University and climate change continuing to advance, as we knew it would, you will be asked to consider a new resolution at this convention. And guess who submitted it? Never mind. The resolution includes the concept of just transition, which contends that workers displaced from jobs with climate change should receive supplemental income, insurance, and pension benefits. It also means that people of color who have been systematically excluded from jobs in the energy sector, while the dirtiest, worst polluting plants in the grid went into communities of color, need to be brought into jobs in the new green economy. Addressing and correcting past racial inequities is part of just transition, too. That's right, thank you. The resolution has some recommendations about how the union needs to adjust and realign itself to have the best knowledge available about climate change. Not just the perils, but also the incredible opportunities for organizing in the emerging green technologies. And that includes making sure green technology used in America is made in America and made by IAM members. Sisters and brothers, this fight on climate change is literally about our collective survival. But it is also about the potential for our growth and renewal as a union if we're smart enough to seize the opportunities before us. We need to educate our members and the general public, but we know the real opponents of change are the same corporate cronies making huge profits while they drive us off the edge of a cliff. Except this situation is so severe, some of these guys are building spaceships to try and check out from Earth and leave us all behind with their mess. You know, I've been talking in big terms about a big problem, but if you happen to be at the 2016 convention, you might remember I showed folks a photo of my grandson. And at this point, it's supposed to be up on the screen. Okay. You see on the, what would it be, your left, I think. There's Boston. That's my grandson. His name is Boston. His father was a Red Sox fan. And at the time, he was about 10 years old. And he was counting on me to do something about this, to make sure that the world would be habitable during his lifetime. So I've been doing everything I can in order to make sure not just my grandkids, but your grandkids and their kids would be able to live in a world that's decent and with the same benefits that we have. Because these kids did nothing to mess up the earth. We did. We have a responsibility to them. There's another photo there. That's Boston this year. He's 18 years old. Right now, he just started at the University of Alaska in Fairbanks. He's enrolled in the university's Climate Scholars Program, majoring in emergency management. He's not waiting for us. He's taken up the task himself. He's part of a movement, a growing movement of kids who are not waiting around hoping that somebody else will do something. If we can show them that the Machinists Union is in the forefront of the fight for climate safety, they'll be curious, they'll be interested, they'll want to know what we have to say. And what we have to say is join the union. Join the union, brothers and sisters. Become part of our strength. Utilize our resources and make your voice heard like I did in a union that listens to its members, a union where democracy is a fundamental and active value. You've now seen the remarkable study from Cornell, working in conjunction with the Strategic Resources Department and the Communications Department. You've heard some about the dangers of climate and the opportunities that it can also mean in terms of organizing workers in emerging green technologies. And you've witnessed right here with me how the voice of one member can help shape the direction of this great union. If you have an issue that resonates with workers and you respect leadership even while you're debating them. That brings me to my last point. By virtue of the fact that you are here as delegates from your local, you are a union leader. Recognize the power of that and the responsibility of that. Report back to your members about this convention. Study, educate yourself about important issues. Speak up, become a leader. Become a leader and make your union better. Fight for climate safety and save the world. Thank you, sisters and brothers.
John, gift for
That's very nice.
thank you, sir. Is that same for you? Can I get a picture of both of you?
Oh yeah, how do we do it? Cool.
For what purpose does the delegate at Mic 1 rise?
David Varnes, Local Lodge 764, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Brother Chair, with respect, we are a union of rules. We heard a thorough and complete financial report, but the chair did not call for its adoption upon the completion of the report. Could we please tidy that up?
I would just say this, Brother Barnes. I actually checked the record and hadn't always adopted the report. GST, that's her report to the delegate on the delegates on the financial situation of our union. And in previous conventions that I reviewed, there was no adoption of her report.
I accept the chair's explanation. Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming back. I thought it was just going to be me. No. Jackie and I were going to have to handle it. Seeing no one else at the mics, the chair will call the secretary of the Resolutions Committee.
The resolutions can be found in the document library. They are located at the top of the list in the Resolutions tab on your tablet. Your committee will now read the report on Resolution 6, found on page 8 of your tablet. Resolution 6 calls for the IAM to continue to strive for change in climate safety and forge strong ties with those who advocate for climate change, for climate safety and social justice. This would include putting together a program at W3 to educate members on the threats of climate change, naming a climate change coordinator in each territory, and working with employers on possible ways to incorporate positive change. The committee had a lengthy and productive discussion on this resolution. We appreciate the steps that are being taken as a step in the right direction. The committee acknowledges that climate change is a threat, and there are many companies and government agencies already pushing for changes. We feel it is important that we are not left behind on this. The committee appreciates that this resolution calls on this union to take the lead in education, as opposed to more extreme ideas, such as calling for a ban on all fossil fuels, which would cripple our members in the air and rail industries. This resolution calls on the IAM as a whole to work together to incorporate green technology where it can, without threatening any current member's job. As such, your committee recommends concurrence with Resolution 6, and I so move, Brother Chairman.
Thank you, Secretary. Sisters and brothers, IAM siblings, you have heard the report of the Resolutions Committee for a motion of concurrence with Resolution 6. Do I hear a second? Any discussion? I believe we're starting on mic 5.
Hello, Derek Bushnell from Local Lodge 2202, and I stand strongly in support of this resolution.
Thank you, brother. Delegate at mic 6.
Candy Lewis, District 142, Local Lodge 2198. I would just like to rise in concurrence and full support of this resolution.
Thank you, sister. Delegate at mic 1.
Joe Martinez, Local 1932, District 141, Air Transport. I stand in support of this resolution.
Thank you, brother. Delegate standing at mic 2.
Guy Johnson, Local Lodge 1722, District Lodge 142, and we stand in support of this resolution.
Thank you, brother. Delegate at mic 3.
James Wells, Local Lodge 1726, District Lodge 141, Air Transport. I stand in concurrence with this resolution.
Thank you, brother. Delegate at mic 4.
Brother Chairman, my name is Dan Morgan, Local Lodge 695. I was on the Resolutions Committee in 2016 when Brother Harriet brought his resolution forward. It was debated fiercely by the body at the time. If memory serves, it was actually sent back to John. He testified at the committee. He maintained his composure. He brought his issues forward. He used our process to accomplish what he did, and I applaud him for what he did and the way he did it. And for our union to not support this we would be looking backwards. It protects current jobs, it looks to the future, and it protects our planet, and I rise in support of the resolution.
Thank you, brother. Delegate at mic 5.
Good afternoon. Brandon Johnson, Local 2202, District 142. I also strongly support this resolution.
Thank you, brother. Delegate at mic 6.
Marlon Overstreet, Local Lodge 2559, District Lodge 141. I would like to call the question.
The question has been called, but in the form of true democracy, I would ask, is there anyone wishing to speak against this concurrence? Is there anyone wishing to speak against concurrence? Seeing no one at the mics, is the convention ready to vote on the issue? Yes. So, all those in favor of upholding concurrence of Resolution 6, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and so moved.